Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to start with the second part of the Vaisheshik Darshan and we're going to study about the Padarth, the categories of reality. In Vaisheshik philosophy, reality is organized into six fundamental categories called Padarths. These categories help us understand and clarify everything that exists in the universe. Each Padarth represents a distinct aspect of existence from physical substances to abstract qualities and even non existence itself. So, we are going to study about how everything is classified into this universe and what are these different things that are found in the universe under the category of Padarth. What are those seven Padarths that we are going to study about? These seven Padarths are Dravya, Gun, Karm, Samanya, Vishesh, Samvai, and Abhav. Now let's study about each of them one and one. Firstly, Dravya, the foundation of existence. What is Dravya? Dravya means substance, the fundamental building blocks that possesses qualities and undergo actions. Substances are the things that exist independently and can be perceived through senses. So, what is Dravya? Dravya are the physical substances that are visible through our sensory organs. For example, a wooden table is a substance. We are able to see the wooden table. But inside that wooden table, we are also able to see the color, the texture, the weight. And that wooden table can also be pushed or polished. So these are the qualities of that wooden table. But what is the dravya here? The dravya is the wooden table. Now, there are nine types of dravya. First, earth, water, fire, air, ether, time, space, soul, and mind. Now, the next padarth is gun, the qualities that define. What is a gun? Gun refers to qualities, attributes that inhere in substances. Qualities cannot exist independently. They always belongs to a substance. This is very important to remember, guys, that gun cannot exist independently, whereas dravya exists independently. Gun help us perceive and distinguish different objects. For example, a red apple has the quality of redness. Here, red apple is a dravya, but the redness that is the quality of the red apple is a gun of that particular red apple. So, here we have to actually analyze the fact that redness is dependent on the red apple. Okay, it is a interdependent relationship. Redness cannot survive alone, and that is why gun is a property which is not independent. Taste, sugar has the quality of sweetness. So sweetness is the gun, whereas sugar is the dravya, right? Smell, rose has the quality of fragrance. Fragrance is a gun. Now, the next padarth is karma, the dynamics of motion. There are broadly five types of karma classified in the Vaisheshik Darshan. So it's very easy to understand. Let's study about them one by one. First one is upward motion, which is called as ukshepa. Second is the downward motion. It's called avakshepa. The third is contraction, which is akunchan. And the expansion, fourth motion is the expansion, which is called as prasaran. And the fifth motion is general motion, which is known as gaman. For utshepan, imagine you are holding a ball and throwing it in the upward direction in the air. That upward motion represents utshepan. And once that ball reaches the certain height and it starts to come back, fall down, that coming down, that downward motion represents avakshepan. Okay, you are holding a sponge and then you are contracting it, you are pressing it. That is an example of contraction. You have a rubber band in your hand and you are pulling it in two different directions. That is the example of expansion. And other than these four types of motion, whatever motion are happening in the world, for example, movement, walking or running, that comes under the uh, category of gaman. Okay. The next padarth is samanya, the power of generality. What is samanya? Samanya represents generality or common properties shared by multiple individuals. It's what allows us to group different things together under a single category. As the name suggests, Samanya is something similar. Although everybody is different, that is what the Vaisheshik Darshan basic theory falls upon, that every individual is different from one another. But yet, there must be something which is common, and that commonality helps us to group all those different individuals under one group. So, that commonality is known as Samanya. For example, there are many cows in the world. There might be black colored cows, there might be white colored cows, there might be multicolored cows, there are tall cows, there are short cows, but all of them are known as cows because all of them has cowness in them. Mean आप उनको भी cow ही कहते हैं, right? It doesn't matter which color of the cow it is. So that commonality between all of those animals is the samanya category that we are talking in Vaisheshik Darshan. Okay, so whatever is the common thing between all those individuals, let's take another example. In today's world, we have Snapchat, we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram. Yet all these apps comes under the category of social media, and hence social media is the samanya of all these apps, right? So this is what Samanya talks about, the power of generality. Next is Vishesh, the uniqueness of atoms. Yes, in the yesterday's class, I told you that the concept of atoms was derived from this particular school of Indian philosophy. So, when we talk about Vishesh, what does Vishesh means? Particularity. Vishesh is the particularity that makes each eternal atom unique. All of us are made up of atoms, right? Well, atoms share common properties as substances. Each possesses an individual essence that distinguishes it from all others. So, atoms share common properties as well, which is substances, right? But yet we all are different from each other. That difference is known as Vishesh. Let's understand this concept via an example. A mother gave birth to two twins. Now, although both of them looks similar, yet they have unique characteristics. Their DNA also might be similar, almost similar, but they actually have unique characteristics. One might be calm, one might be notorious. So, this slightly uniqueness that each one possesses is known as Vishesh. Similarly, atoms share the nature of being atoms but possesses individual particularity. All of us are made up of atoms, but still we all are different from one another, and that is what Vishesh is. Now, the next padarth is samavai, the inherent connection, the eternal bond. Samvai is the permanent, inseparable relation between substances and their qualities, or between whole and parts. Very important thing to remember is Samavai is the permanent, inseparable relationship between substances and their qualities. This relationship is not temporary, it is an inherent, eternal connection, something which cannot be separated ever. For example, let's understand this concept through an example. If we consider a piece of cloth and the threads that make it, we all know cloth is the final products of threads binding together, right? The cloth cannot exist without these threads, and threads exist within the cloth. If there is a cloth, there has to be group of threads, right? So their relationship is some way. If threads are disconnected, the cloth is no longer wearable, right? it's damaged. So if one thing gets damaged or one thing gets separated, the other will not survive. And that is the concept, that is the core nature of samvaya relationship. Okay. If one is not there, the other will not be there. It is completely and permanently dependent on each other. So this is example of samvaya, and this is how samvaya connection is understood. Now, the last one is abhav, philosophy of absence. There are four types of absence or abhav that we are going to talk in Vaisheshik school of philosophy. First is pragabhav, second pradvansa bhav, third anonya bhav, and last atyanta bhav. What is pragabhav? Prior non-existence. So here I have quoted an example like before a pot is made, there is no pot. The clay exists, but the pot doesn't yet. In Pragabhav, the thing was not there in the past, but it is now. For example, if we are talking about a pot, pot is made up of clay, right? The earthen pot. But the pot is in the present time. If we are going in the past, there was no pot, but there was clay. So that type of abhav is known as pragabhav. Pragabhav, that is something is present today, but it was not in the past. So that is pragabhav. Now, next is padvansa bhav, posterior non-existence. Now, the same pot which we have today, if it gets broken, okay, it ceases to exist. That means the pieces remain. The broken pot is no more a pot. It is just broken pieces of clay now. So the pot is gone and it is no longer existing. That comes under Pradvansa Bhav. So in easy way, I am going to simply say that Pragabhav is the absence of the thing in the past, and Pradvansa Bhav is after that thing is made, and it's once it's gone forever. That is Pradvansa Bhav. Now, third is Anyonya Bhav, mutual non-existence. A pot is not a cloth. They are different substances with no overlap. Mutual non-existence means something which is never going to exist together. See, a pot is not a cloth, right? Cloth is not a pot, pot is not a cloth. They are never going to overlap with each other. So, two distinct things which are never going to share similar properties, that is mutual non-existence. The last one is Atyanta Bhav, that is absolute absence. Rabbits never had horns. This absence is eternal and absolute. So, in this, rabbit never had horns. They never had horns in our past as well, in the future as well, and even in present, we are not able to see rabbit with horns. So, this is something which is absolute and eternal. It is never gonna happen. That comes under Atyanta Bhav. Now, to ease your confusion, in Atyanta Bhav, something which is never going to happen, that comes under Atyanta Bhav. In Anonya Bhav, this is mutual non-existent. That means these two things are never gonna exist together. That is, a pot is not a cloth is never gonna be a pot, and a pot is never gonna be a cloth. See, they are two different substances. I mean, pot is made from clay, cloth is made from fabric, cloth is made from threads. So these two things never share same similarities. So if you are confused in these two topics, just rewind this video and try to understand that here we are talking about overlapping. These two are never going to overlap each other. But in Atyanta Bhav, it is complete absence. I mean, we are not even able to think of the fact that rabbits had horns ever. So let's see an example. In an empty room, there's pratyabhav of furniture before you bring in chairs. Once you remove them, there is pradvansa bhav. The absence of elephant in your room is atyanta bhav. Okay, so if you have purchased a new flat, that empty flat is pragabhav. If you put in furnitures inside the flat, Then that flat that flat is full of furnitures now. But once you again pull all those furnitures outside of your flat, that becomes Pradhvansa Bhav. Now, can you imagine an elephant inside your flat? No, never. It's not possible. An elephant cannot get fixed inside flat. So that is Atyanta Bhav, something which can never happen because it is not meant to happen. An elephant cannot enter your flats. Similarly, rabbits cannot have horns, right? So, guys, that's it for today. I know it was a bit technical. I mean, it's obviously darshan is not easy. It is basically upon thinking. So, yeah, this is it for today. We are done with two parts of Vaisheshik. We are going to have one another part of Vaisheshik Darshan, that is part 3. If you like the video, subscribe, comment all your doubts. I will be answering you. And yeah, like and share. Thank you, guys. We'll meet again tomorrow. Till then, bye. Take care.